It is now time for Ring the Bell Radio, a wrestling podcast.
Hello, everybody. If you're listening to me, I must be JD, and you are listening to Ring the Bell Radio, a wrestling podcast. As always, the great, magnanimous, eloquent, risque, it comes sometimes. King Logan is with me.
Yes. Hello and welcome once again, my magnanimous and amazing fans. It is I, King Logan, and you are listening to Ring the Bell Radio, a King Logan podcast.
I just said what we were doing.
Maybe JD. So Barris, I'll take Barris, but JD, yeah, we could live without him. It's fine.
Go walk into a wall.
No, don't be silly.
I don't like you today.
That's like your intro of I must be JD. Who else are you gonna be?
Paul.
Not back.
Okay, Jeremy.
Oh, you son of a bitch. I told you, never say my government name, man.
Government name.
You suck. Now, since it's Halloween, I'm going to come to your house, and there's going to be a cat nailed to your door now.
You're not going to come to my house at all. The only time you come to my house is when I offer you free food and pay-per-view wrestling.
Yeah, but plus, if I try to do that to your house, I'm scared of your wife.
Yeah, my wife would kill you. She'll bust the shit out of you.
So, DJ's here. The DJ Barris. After
what's going on?
Wait, what's happening, man? What are you doing? I heard you were in hospital again.
I was just getting checked out. They gave me a medication. I'm allergic to it. We didn't know, so I'm acting a little more loopy than usual.
I heard that they were actually trying to give you a sexiness pill, but your sexiness was already too off the charts, and it was just too much sexiness.
No, that's on medical records from all the times I've been in the hospital. And right when I went and registered, they had 5 nurses waiting outside my door and everything, so we were good.
It's understandable.
Okay. Yeah, I do what I do.
Well, guess what, King?
I'm guessing the word is what.
Yeah. Anyway, Barris actually booked a guest for us this week. This episode.
Oh yeah,
I did.
Yeah, you did.
Wow, and wait. I'm shocked about the guest. I'm more shocked that Barris did work.
I know. It should be like a federal holiday now. He did work. So
I'm always doing work. You guys just don't know about it. That's all. We remember the credit card scandals.
Yeah. So when I saw who the guest was, I immediately called Barris. And I basically went, "What the shit, Barris? Are you serious?" And you did what? You just laughed.
I did when I first got on the call, yeah.
Yeah, just exactly like that, audience. And then Logan, who I'm talking about, there's past history with myself and him going probably back 10, 12 years. Okay. I'm cool with him. I'm cool with him now. He was on again. What was that, Barris? About 5 years ago, and we kind of smoothed things out. After all that time. But Logan, I'm talking about.
Wait.
His name is what?
Wait. No. Play my intro video for this channel.
Oh, you want me to play the intro video? Okay, so we're going to share this.
If you'd be so kind.
All right, I'm going to share the screen here. I'm going to put it up on the monitor so all of us can see.
I can't see it.
Okay. Well, you can't see it, and I think our guest will be able to see it. So here we go. 1, 2, 3.
They'll hear it.
Oh, it's play.
From days of long ago, from uncharted regions of the universe, comes a legend. The legend of Von Schmidt. defender
And the international title
of might,
Herman
loved by good, feared by evil. As
Von Schmidt.
legend grew, peace settled across the galaxy. On
Deutschland.
a galaxy alliance was formed. Together with the good planets of the solar system, they maintained peace throughout the universe. Until a new horrible menace threatened the galaxy.
Von Schmidt.
Was needed once more. This is the story of the super force of
The Von Schmidt.
specially trained and sent by
Deutschland.
to bring back
Von Schmidt. And the international title.
I give you the one, the only, Josef Von Schmidt.
It's been a pleasure. We've had a lot of past, a lot of things going on. I'm hitting 23 years in the wrestling business. Unfortunately, I'm like Terry Funk. I'm on my third run. I'm like wondering if I'm gonna ever just like retire fully. But every time I leave,
It's like the mafia. Soon as you think you're out, you keep getting pulled back in, right?
it's like the mafia, but underpaid. Like not with the money.
Minimum wage mafia.
Dude, there's a stable right there.
There you go.
Yeah, dude, you better put.
I don't know.
That shirt.
Minimum wage mafia. I love
What'd you
it.
say, make that a
I used
t-shirt?
to make him. I used to make him a lot of money though when I sold masks and T-shirts and pictures.
Yeah, man. No, I've been very fortunate, very blessed, man. And it's a pleasure to be back on the show. We're just a joke around for the fans that don't know this. Like, we have a lot of history, so I do appreciate coming back on. It wouldn't be another run at it if I didn't show up on this show, for sure.
Oh no, I know. I mean, just think, Joe. All those times you came down here to Pittsburgh and you went to those wrestling shows. Who did you see over in the corner like a thorn in your side? There was us going against your fan base, and then there's Barris yelling at us that we're not cheering for you. You know, no, but you know what? I will say this, and I know Logan has been becoming familiar with you this. Watching some of your matches online this past week, isn't that right, Logs?
Yes, yes.
But you were one of those wrestlers that I loved to hate, if that makes sense.
Yeah, man.
You struck that raw nerve, and Barris would even tell you that when we would be looking at the card for upcoming wrestling shows going on, he would be like, "Dude, Schmitty's coming down." We were buying a ticket that day.
Yeah,
You know.
Dude, that's the thing, man. It's just everything is so PC now. It's hard, like to just do like the old shtick. But I'm working my way around it, and actually, I'm doing a lot more lucha libre than anything now. So I got connected with a promotion, Neza, and they are like luchador Mexican company. It's been fun coming back with that, and then just anything else. The word got out that I'm back in the scene, and then every time I'm looking at Facebook or Instagram, I got new messages asking me, if I'm gonna come here, come there, and how extensive is it gonna be that I'm back in wrestling. So it's good to be loved by the fans and promoters that I worked with before. So I'm happy that you get. The fans got to love you or hate you. If you're in between, you're not really making an impact.
Well, it's that changing dynamic, especially of wrestling fans. Like you have, like prime example, me. I love a good heel character. I mean, I adore people like Gunther, because he backs up what he says, which is just great for that in kayfabe kind of thing. He's an arrogant asshole you want to dislike, but he can do what he says. So I love a heel character like that. And I've been watching some of your stuff, like JD said, for the last week or so, and reading up about you. I have to. This is from your official pro wrestling wiki entry. Okay. All right. So signature moves. Okay. The German hammer. I like it. Yeah, that's good. Kradoff Hitlerplex.
That's right, baby.
That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. The Red Knight of Germany is your nickname. And tag teams, the Dreaded Guns with Bull Dread.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I love it. But it says here, what I actually wanted to ask you about, it says you're also the owner and operator of Powerhouse Wrestling Academy. Is
Yeah.
that still a thing you're really, you're into? Are you down there? Are you teaching these young'uns?
No, man. This is like, I don't know who did this wiki page, but they haven't updated in probably like 12, 13 years. I started, when I first opened a company, it was kind of partnering with Powerhouse out of Connecticut, but then we kind of split off, and then I opened Pro Wrestling Academy. And then I did a lot of training. A couple of my students that you may see out there now, Wrecking Ball Legursky who's in NWA now, and Alex Misery, also in NWA. A few others, train people in England, train people all over the U.S., Ecuador, Canada. I honestly, man, I had a lot of good experiences in doing it, and very fortunate in this business. And so I'm thankful for all that. But that wiki needs to be updated, like seriously overhauled, like Jay on it with his computer typewriter, one finger. You type in with one finger, JD. On that.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I do. I got.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait a minute. I didn't set that wiki up. Maybe we can go and fix it though.
Yeah,
maybe we can.
I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe get on it.
I'm sure if you set it up, you'd say that I was your boyfriend.
Well, I'm going to put a trivia thing down the bottom saying, "Do you know JD from Ring the Bestling Radio? That's a huge crush on him."
Jim Powers and Virgil, baby.
Oh my God!
Oh, geez.
Do you remember that, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
What was what WrestleMania was that? 25?
Yeah,
23, 25?
Jim Powers, and we were at Buffalo Wild Wing, and then here comes Virgil with his table.
Literally.
Yep.
Okay. Let me tell you a story about that evening. Is
you need to be careful. You need to follow the rules of the recently deceased. Remember?
No. It has nothing to do with Virgil. Well, it does, but it doesn't. Okay, it does because yes, he has passed. But and this is more for our audience too. But since we actually have Joe on, he could help fill in some of the gaps. So, as he said, it was WrestleMania 23 or 25. I think it was 23. We had Jim Powers flew out from New Jersey to be a part of we did a live show from Buffalo Wild Wings. And we were talking to you already, and you were down here during that time doing a couple of wrestling shows, right?
I think it was like either I had like probably a double shot. I think it was doing like 5-star at the time, and then FNW, which is what is that? Sterling James Keenan's father.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So I forget how it came up that all of a sudden we were talking to you and you were like, "Oh, hey, I'll stop by," and you were in character. So I remember this. He shows up in his full attire. It was not very PC either. I mean, you had the spiked hair, you had the monocle, you had your trench coat that had your Germanish stuff on it, You're walking around insulting everybody. I thought it was hilarious. And you're walking by saying something to someone. They're looking at me like, "Oh my God. Like, did he just say XYZ to me?" And I had to look at him and I went, "He's in character." And they went, "Oh, okay, then that's cool." Because you were getting people mad, Joe. You were getting people mad. You walked by somebody, said something like, "Oh, there's another fat American coming here for their hamburgers," and it just happened to be a very plump lady. And I went outside to have a smoke, and this lady comes out and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I got to call the police on this guy. I've never been so insulted in my life." And we're like, "Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it." And we came in, and all of a sudden, like, I forget, one of the managers came up to us and they were like, "Dude, if this guy's like insulting everybody, if he doesn't stop it, he's going to have to go." And I was like, "We'll let him know." We never came over to tell you anything. And then
I'm sure
yes.
that lady has been insulted before.
Yeah.
The
But
glory days of wrestling.
yeah. So Jim Power shows up, and as he's there, no, I take it back. Out of nowhere, Virgil showed up. We have our whole table set up and everything. Virgil comes over to us and asks, "Hey guys, you got to move because I'm Virgil and I need this spot." And I looked at him and I went, "No, I don't care who you are." And he just went, "But I'm Virgil." And I went, "I'm JD. How you doing?" I was just like, we've had this set up. You can go find somewhere else. So I called Jim Powers and I was like, "You'll never believe who's here." And he's like, "Who?" Because he was at the hotel across the street. And I went, "Virgil's here." And he just went, "Are you effing me? Seriously?" He's like, "I don't want to put up. I never liked him back in the day. I still don't like him." Okay, I guess I'll show up. And then, of course, when he shows up, he's being all buddy with him, But that was a good night, though. And you and Jim were commentating. There was the three of us, me, you, and Jim. We were commentating on the live show, and I think you and Jim Power started to get into it a little, which was great. I'm just sitting in between the two of you going, "Shit, something's going to happen here," and I'm in the middle of it, because you both were hulking up. You guys were hulking up on each other,
You gave me a look, JD.
Oh, yeah, I
you're
did.
like, dude.
I'm like, "Bro, what Joe saying
I'm
something?"
looking at you. I was looking at you and I'm like, "Oh God," because I started training the day before. And I mean, I was sore as all hell. And Joe called me out on it because when I came in and I sat down, he looks at me and goes, "You started training yesterday, didn't you?" And I go, "Yeah, how'd you know?" He goes, "You didn't sit in your chair. You fell into it." And I was like,
Oh.
"Yep. Yeah, I did."
But what I was saying was Joe would say something, Jim would fire right back, and vice versa. And then, I was trying to get out of there.
Man, that was some good stuff, man. I did enjoy that. That was a shocker when Virgil showed up. I still have a picture with me and him of that day. If you go on my Facebook, on that album, it looks like like I owed him $1,000. Like he was just.
Well, knowing him, he probably wanted $50 to take the picture with you.
Yeah.
I can't. Okay.
He didn't get any of that.
And I just want to say one more other thing, Joe, then we're going to move on to something else, is Mr. America Captain.
Yeah. Loved him.
How great was it that Rey Mysterio came out dressed up as Captain America? Because what was it? There was something where you were doing a character called Mr. America Captain, and it was supposed to be, what, Josef Von Schmidt like incognito or something?
It was supposed to be obviously tongue-in-cheek that it was me trying to get over with the American fans.
Yeah. Yeah, and then something happened where, quote unquote, you supposedly beat up one of our hosts, and you kept saying it was not me, it was this Mr. America Captain. I remember that night drilling you about it, and then who would have known Rey Mysterio comes out dressed up as frickin' Captain America, and you were like, "See, look, it's not me. He's on WrestleMania. How can he be there and here at the same time?" Dude, that was great.
Yeah.
But speaking of the wrestling now that you're back into it, are you going to be making your way down here to the Pittsburgh area anytime soon to have a match?
I'm hoping to, man. I'm hoping to. I see that what is it, Pros and Cons or Pros of Wrestling or whatever it's on again. That's Keenan's dad and their new
Pros. Yeah, Pros of Wrestling it's called. Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple things going on there. I kind of have a couple things. Mostly I'm down here in the South, like Georgia, like Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina. I have a thing coming up here in Connecticut in 2025, but with a family too. I got a young family now. So I kind of limit a lot of my booking. So I have to be pretty particular on what I take. And so, not that my body can't handle it, but my wife just doesn't really handle me being away too
Right.
long on the road. And so I'm hoping that in the next couple of months here, I'll put something together. Because like what I was telling when we first got on here, the Nessa promotion, the Lucha company is I'm actually a face, and it's pretty funny is the dynamic of that, and like super over face too, by the way. And they're like, and the promoter comes to me, he's like, hey man, I want you to be like a USA heel, you dress up like you got an Eddie Guerrero. He sent me a picture of Eddie Guerrero when you did like the American flag gimmick, and and he's like, yeah, I want you to dress like this. And then I was like, I'm like looking at it. I'm like, okay. And he's like, and I want you to be like Sam Adonis from CMLL. And I was like, okay. Yeah, it's funny that then that just like flooded all the history, like me watching Sam Adonis come up as a a little youngin there, working for his brother and his dad, and it just made me laugh. But it's pretty funny how just this business changes, and it's so interesting. But yeah, man, I hope to get up in Pennsylvania here sometime soon.
Oh, that'd be really cool, because I know I was telling these guys, Barris and I were telling Logan that if he's able to get down here, at least in the Pittsburgh area, or somewhere in Western PA, we would definitely find out where it'd be, and we buy a ticket, come see you wrestle, see if you could see the three yo-yos getting up and cheering for you.
Yeah.
Dude,
I'll be walking in VIP pass and selling merch for him.
Dude, it's funny too, like the dynamic, like my character is a little bit changed now, so it's not so necessarily the German superior German athlete anymore. Like I do like an Oktoberfest character now, and so like
I saw that
one of my main matches is like the Oktoberfest brawl, and it's like basically you got to drink 3 beers before you can get the win, and it's you're wrestling, so that's what makes it difficult. So like you're trying to drink a beer, and then I just come up and give you like a shining wizard or a drop kick, and you drop your beer, that means you got to start over. And so a lot of
dude, that sounds like my kind of wrestling match there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't like me doing it in the ring.
Yeah, I suppose spilt beer all over their ring stuff wouldn't be
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, you gotta watch that out real soon after it goes in there. Your canvas is pretty much shot.
So, gang, we got a little a couple of questions here from our fans of the show, or not necessarily the show, fans of wrestling, but we're going to say it's fans of the show. A couple days back, I put out the word that Joe was going to be on our program, and said, hey, if there's a question you like to ask him, let us know. So we got a couple of messages here for you, Joe. A couple questions, fan questions.
All right.
Okay. Now,
disclosure for the podcast fans. They did not give me any privy to any of these questions, so I'm going to hear them for the first time here as well.
Okay. Yes. He has not seen these. He does not know what's coming. So we have a couple here we're going to read for you. Okay. So the first one is from Carl from New York. All right. And the question is what made you want to get into wrestling?
All right. Man, that is the $1 million question here. Dude, I saw it, the first time I saw it was like, I think I was like 6 or 7. And we had the New Haven Coliseum where wrestling used to come. And I remember I would go to 7-Eleven, like around the corner from my house, and there'd be like the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov there standing there, like waving. And like people don't even realize or remember, like back in the day when WWF was like getting going, like that's what they did. Like they had this out there, and like just local places, like slinging Slurpees and waving to cars driving by. And what had happened was I I went to the New Haven Coliseum after seeing all this, and then Sergeant Slaughter kind of scooped me up and put me on his shoulder, and I was like, you know what, this is what I want to do. And so from the age of like 7 or 8, I knew I wanted to do it, but the problem was, how do you do it? I didn't figure that out until I was 24. But at 7 or 8, I knew I wanted to get into it. Fast forward to 24, I was about to go to Killer Kowalski school, and then I was sitting at home, and on public access TV comes Jason Knight from ECW, and he's talking about a school that he just opened up in Waterbury, Connecticut, 45 minutes from my house at that time. And I was like, and it was just the day before I was going to go to Kowalski school. And so I ended up going to Jason Knight school. I was like, yeah, it's Kowalski is 2.5 hours away up in Boston, and this school here opening up is 45 minutes from my house. And so that's how I wanted to get into it. Like, I just was around this stuff when I was a young kid, and then I progressed into finding that training facility and joining.
See, that's cool. Yeah, you knew exactly what you wanted to do, and you never let that dream go away. Like you said, it took you till you were 24 years old to figure out how.
Do you know how many people laughed at me for like that, from that gap of 7 to 24? The first person that did not laugh at me was my cousin in Canada. I was probably around like 17 or 18, and that was the first encouragement that I got from 7 years old until I found the school when I was 24.
Wow.
And she was like, that'd be really cool to see you on TV with the Legion of Doom.
Right.
And that was the first positive I've ever got from wanting to be a wrestler from the age of 7 to like 17. And then, there really wasn't much after it, other than a couple of my friends, maybe when we were out drinking at the bar, oh yeah, man, that'd be cool. But,
And of course, Logan would say, it'd be nice to see you in The Undertaker.
Yeah, I think that's super cool that your cousin said that to you, though. I feel a lot of people, they say what they want to be, and then there's a lot of negativity around it. Like, my grandson told me the other day, I said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And his first option was grave digger. I'm like, you want to dig graves? He goes, no, the truck. He wants to be the truck when he grows up. And then the second one was a pirate. And I was like, okay, well, what if those two choices don't work out for you? And he looked at me and he was like, you silly granddad. I'm going to be pirate or grave diggy. So, yeah, it's nice you had some encouragement of, somebody saying that'd be so cool for you to do. I mean, personally, I think you have the greatest job in the world. I would love to do what you do. Love to. Unfortunately, my body won't let me, but I'd love to do it. But like, you are living my dream. So good on you. Well done. Great for following your passion.
Appreciate it, man. Hey, man, and for your grandson, watch this. When he's 24, he'll be dressed like a pirate driving Gravedigger.
Hey, and I'll be the first one I'll be the first one in the stands cheering him along. I will. But I mean, kids, you gotta give him encouragement somehow. I didn't have the heart to tell him that, he can't become a truck. But people could dream.
Don't ruin the kid now. Next question is from the Prince of Pain. Who?
That's a wrestler on WWX.
Oh, geez, not the WWX.
Oh, yes.
Not
yes.
now, Logan. Not now. The Prince of Pain writes, who is your dream opponent and why?
Ah, man. Honestly, dude, I've wrestled them all. Like, I don't really have a dream opponent.
Okay.
I never thought about that. Honestly, the way that I look at it is I like to have matches with people that just really want to work. And, I just did the NWA a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago now, and I wrestled EC3. over there for one of the TV tapings, and how do I say this eloquently? It was terrible, but you know, the thing is, and it wasn't his fault. It wasn't my fault. It's just there was no chemistry there. And sometimes you think you're like, hey man, I want to wrestle Sergeant Slaughter. Like that was my dream match, and I accomplished that like many years ago. I did have that. I always wanted to wrestle Sergeant Slaughter, and I accomplished that dream match. I think in 2016. But after that, it's like honestly, I like working with the young guys who actually want to work, and I really like now. As some of the fans know, there's people that kind of script everything, and then there's people like that are old school that call stuff in the ring. And there was a time that I liked to script a lot of things in the ring, but now I really like just calling stuff in the ring, and I like working with people that can just kind of listen and call, and those are what actually are my dream matches, because I don't have many matches left in me, honestly. I'm 47 now, and I probably have, I would say, probably within like 100 120 matches left, depending on how well my body holds on. I'm in no pain or nothing, so wink wink wink, bookers, I'm gonna work hard, but those are my dream matches now, is just working with people who really want to work. That's what I want to put out there.
Okay, next question. Logan, are we saying last names? Or
No, don't say last name.
No, don't say the last names. Okay, they gave us a last name, but I'm not going to say, because this is an actual person. They didn't give us a like a screen name or anything. So this is from Kayla. Yeah. Kayla. Okay. And this question's kind of interesting, Joe. Have you ever considered getting a manager that is female, a hot cougar like myself? Hint, hint, I am available.
Ooh, that was definitely sent by JD.
No, that was not sent by me.
That's why you didn't want to say the last name.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, that would not go over well with my current state of.
Well, duh.
No, dude, I did that. I had the valet for a while, and just like the reality is, I like to talk. Like if you give me a mic, I'm gonna shoot it. I'm gonna build the crowd up. I'm gonna tear it down, and then I'm gonna go ahead, spin heads, and I rather just be the one man show. And it's nothing against valets. They're great, and they all have a purpose. But for me, I'm not one that has difficulty like getting in front of the crowd and speaking. And if a promotion like books this, and I'll work a way around it, but like I'm definitely not looking for any kind of manager or valet in any shape or form.
Okay, so you hear that, audience? He is not looking for a valet. So, okay, a few more here, because I know Barris has a couple that he has received that he wants to convey to you. But the next question is from FU Everybody.
Oh, it's for Barris then.
That's yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, this is another interesting one, Joe. Hail Von Schmidt. When is my Supreme Commander going to rule wrestling once again? So this has to be someone that is familiar with you from all those years ago.
Man, just the fact that someone's still holding on to that is just amazing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ever supremely rule wrestling again, but I will have Oktoberfest over and over every time I.
Yes. Okay. You hear that? FU everybody. There was his answer. Okay.
But
a few more.
I appreciate it, man. No, I'm gonna say though, for sure, like I'm appreciative of all these comments coming in, and I'm not making light of them or anything, but dude, I really appreciate the fact that I really made an impact on a lot of people, and they still actually take the time to write these questions out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean that's fantastic.
It's funny because you come up in the show quite often, Like they, especially when we're talking about local wrestlers, JD or Barris at some point would be like, "Oh, Josef Von Schmidt, oh, it's so great," and think that's all I heard for years. It's like how awesomely cool you were, so for years. So you've been an ongoing thing on the podcast for many years now as well. And I have to say, they talk nothing but fondness about their time. Seeing you wrestle and playing it up to you. I mean, I think it's surprising to me that and I don't want you to take offense to this whatsoever, but it's surprising to me that a non say WWE or an AEW or one of those big companies up there is so celebrated. And you are. That's the crazy thing is I hear Josef Von Schmidt all the time from these guys, and even if I'm talking to someone, there's been a couple of people I've been talking about wrestling about, and they've been like, "Oh yeah, yes, Josef Von Schmidt." I was like, "Yeah, I know that dude. Well, I don't know him, but my God, do I hear about him all the time?"
True story. True story. I have been with him
Yeah.
when he's been talking bullshitting with other people about wrestling, and your name comes up.
Comes up. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Pennsylvania has been good to me, man. From all the way down to Philly to Pittsburgh, like that definitely, and mid like LCW, like man, Pennsylvania was probably one of the best places that I've ever wrestled, and where I've had a lot of fanfare, and I love coming there, and like it's funny, just coming in there and drawing a crowd, and like you said, having the ability to suck people in. And this is kind of what Mick Foley and Piper said to me. They're like, man, whenever we watch your stuff, we forget, and I'm paraphrasing for both. They both said pretty much the same thing, but pretty much was like, we whenever we're in the crowd and we're sitting here and we like, you get in the ring, like we forget that it's a show. Like like what you said early on, JD, it's like, you just hate me, and like, but it's an act. Like when you see me in the back room, and like how we kind of talk and how we kind of had chemistry from the time that we started doing this, and I started coming on your show. And so it's just really great to hear that. I appreciate you sharing that with me, Logan. So it's great. Like people like heels. People like things that just push the envelope, and that's just really what's lacking now. And like, man, when I was at NWA, and NWA is great and it's different. I was a champ up in the Northeast for the Savoldi, but it's just it's a lot of things are just completely different now from when I started, and it's just kind of watching the transfiguration of wrestling, but wrestling is just trying for like a really good heel to come out on the scene, and that's really what's gonna break the catalyst and make this bring it back to the glory days, in my opinion.
So the next question we have here is from Topics Everything Podcast. Okay. Any memories of these three wrestlers? Raven, Justin Credible, and Matt Bourne's Doink the Clown.
Oh man, dude, I was thinking about Matt Bourne the other day, dude. He farted in my car one time so bad, man. I had him in the back, like he farted so hard in my car, and like I look back in the rearview mirror, and he's just like, he had that face. Like, you ever see that pager commercial where the dude's like got the pager on his nuts, and he's like, "Face me again." That's the thing I remember about Matt Bourne. Like, and honestly, I was just thinking about it like not even 3 or 4 days ago. And so that's my memory of Matt Bourne. Interesting fella. I don't have any other bad stories or anything about him. And like, I was on a couple shows with him and traveled with him here and there, but nothing really bad. Raven. One thing that sticks out of the story with Raven, I was on a show with him, and it happened to be his birthday, and I had some balloons, I think it was like I was doing some kind of gimmick or something. We're throwing a party or something for someone. And then like I ended up bringing the balloons to him and gave them to him and took a picture with him. And like he's like I have like this weird face on, and he was like, "How did you know it was my birthday?" And I was like, didn't, but whatever.
You should have said, "I know, I just know."
I could just imagine him like,
I
"How
don't know.
did you know it's my birthday?"
And I was like, "How did you know it was my birthday?" And I was like, in the back of my head, there's just like salutes going off. Like, what should I say next? But then I was like, I don't even remember what I said to him, but I remember I have that just I'm laughing the whole time whenever I think of that story. Like he actually thought I went out of my way to buy like birthday balloons and stuff for him.
Oh wow,
That is
that's
awesome.
great.
It seemed like I looked it up on Wiki.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's been updated like mine.
Yeah, get that updated there, King. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
it.
Doink shat himself in his car. Trivia.
What
Yeah.
did Doink do in his car?
Dude, he probably did shit himself, man. For sure, man. That was awful. And then Just Incredible, I have a lot of mixed feelings about him because he really helped me out a lot. I remember the first time I was running a promotion in Connecticut, and it was we were doing CWA, and he just came off of TV, and I had booked him for a show, and I knew him kind of from training, but came in. First thing he said, he's like, "Hey, you want me to put you over?" Like that's the first thing he did was walk in the building and say, "Hey, man, you want me to put you over?" Because he already knew. He was like, "It doesn't matter if I win or lose here tonight." Like, and then I looked at him, and then that young talent in me was like, internally I was like, yes. But I looked at him and I kind of paused for about maybe what seems like 7 hours while I did that, but it was about 2 minutes, and I was like, I go, I don't think that'll accomplish what the story we're trying to tell here today. I go, I think I want you to go over, but we wanted to be, we wanted to draw the crowd, and so it was like a false win, and then he went over or something like that. But like that's the main thing that I remember about Justin. Like I know lots of I ended up wrestling him up and down the whole U.S. And the first time that I got to work with him, like as soon as he walked in the door, he's like, "Hey, do you want me to put you over?" That's the first thing he said to me.
Wow.
And that's the thing that I'll always remember about Just Incredible. And this isn't like, the Just Incredible that unfortunately we see now today, right? This was like prime right out of ECW.
That's interesting, though. Yeah. Barris.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you have a couple you have to ask him real quick.
Yeah, I just want to go down
from fans. Yeah.
Well, there's one of mine, and then there's one from a fan.
You're asking your own question?
Yeah, because I want to go down memory lane. I want to peel back the curtain just a little bit.
Okay.
I want to see, because when I started going to FNW, me and a couple of my friends would sit front row. We were marking out. I didn't know what it was, totally at first, and then I was like, yeah. Now that I realized, like, yeah, I was an annoying mark in the front row. But there was an FNW show, and you were working Scott Fowler, and I love that dude. I just love that dude. He was awesome back in the day.
Uh-huh.
And you got to have your match, and I mean, you beat him down. You get out of the ring, you have your belts, and you just look over at us, and we're like, "Get him again!" And you went and you got him again, and you did this like
show?
three or four more times. So was the original plan like just to go back like once and do it, or were we like annoying marks and you were like, you know what, I'm gonna go beat him up a couple more times?
No, because the key of being a successful wrestler is honestly listening to the fans, right? To an extent, right? You have to interact, and that's what kind of like I touched base on about like what is my dream match now. It's kind of like calling it in the ring with someone who wants to work. a huge part of calling your matches now and working is listening to the crowd. Like the reality is, like you guys pay your money to come out and like blow steam off and to have a good time and like not worry about like what's going on in your home life and your work life and we're just there to kind of like be that entertainment for you, be that outlet for you. And so I saw you guys, and you guys were super excited about it. And you know, and I was like, yeah, well, let's just let them be the bookers for these next, 10 minutes. And so listen to what you guys said and kind of just went in and did and followed suit, like because not only is a heel supposed to like not make the crowd hate him, but it's we all listen to cues and we have to understand what the audience is. Every audience is different, and the reality is the bottom line is we're to entertain and we're to like draw you guys into the show.
Yeah, we were definitely a different kind of group, to say the least.
None of it was planned. I just kind of listened to your guys' cues.
And that was
That's
at that
awesome. I
show,
love
Barris.
it. Yeah. Oh no, that was one of the great, like those shows, like the whole way up and down the card. I was just like drawn in, and it was just a great time. Like to the ballroom, to the Cheswick, and yeah, I mean, I can't thank you enough. Like I had the time of my life back then, and
Yeah, man.
but I do have one question that someone wrote in. His name's Don Sean Delanucci. And he was at a 5-star show, and he wanted to know if you remember a lady by the name of Frances who was in a wheelchair, and I told her that you were late to the show because you saved a bunch of puppies from a burning building, and she told us that she didn't believe us, and she hated us because we looked like bad guys. And then I asked you if you wanted me to take a shirt over and sit by her. This kid remembered this. This was great. And I'm holding the shirt up and you waved and she threw the picture you signed and she was just evil, but he wants to know if you remember her and any of that interaction.
Well, until you said that last part with the t-shirts, I've saved many a puppies from burning buildings in my life.
Well, yes, like, you're a great person.
Oh, geez.
But hey. No, until you said that last part, I didn't remember, and now I do. Because yes, I remember she was just foul. Like she was foul, and I was like,
man, she tried to bite me.
Yeah, man. I just was
good.
Like, we gotta win her over somehow. Like, and it cost me like I think at that time it was like $750 a shirt or something. And I was like, man, if this doesn't work, like I don't know what will. But let's go ahead and try it over. And then
I was like, I'm going over. I'm gonna sit by her. I was like, yeah, Joe, and you like pointed us out, and you like, boo, and then she tried to bite me.
Yeah, man, I remember. I remember that, dude. That 5-star wrestling was done by Joe Rogers.
Man, that was a character.
He is, but I love him, man. He never did nothing bad to me. He was always straight up with me, and I never had a problem with him. I know a lot of people have problems with promoters, but like the promoters I work with, they've all pretty much been good to me, him especially.
Yeah.
And one thing I could say about 5-star wrestling is like it's still one of the bloodiest matches in PA. Me and Shane Douglas. Like steel cage.
Yeah, the cage match.
Oh man, that was like a best of 3 for the title. And like I remember we were pitching that story, we were talking about it, and I was like, I pitched Joe, and I was like, hey, I go, dude, if you want to build a crowd, I go, this is what we need to do. I go, we need to put like a best of 3 for the title, for the championship. Like after I won it, I was like, I don't know who to use. I was like, but maybe like a ECW guy or something because they were hot right at that point. And I was like, fill it at 2 to 3, and I go, he doesn't win any. I go, the match was. I go, it never gets to the third. It never gets to the third match, right? It just I beat him 1 and I beat him 2, and that's it. And like
Wow.
He was like, dude, that he goes, that is great. He was like, we can bill it as like the best of three. All the fans are gonna realize like after you win the first one, he's gonna win the second one. And then he lost. But it was like that was one of the bloodiest. Like he actually fixed my blade for that one. And he taped it a little high. And so I don't know if any of you guys see all those pictures, but like, dude, if the commission showed up, like Joe would have lost his license. Like that was like one of the like most bloodiest matches in that area.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yep.
if that happened again, but like, dude, it was like, dude, it was they would have shut it down in an instant if they came in there.
Well,
But yeah, those are the questions I had.
and I was going to say, Joe, thank you for coming on and chatting with us again. It's been a real pleasure. Going down memory lane here a little, taking some fan questions. At least I know you're not going to beat me up this time.
Why don't you say something nice about Joe, JD?
I've always said nice things about Joe. Okay,
I must have missed them all.
Yeah, you were probably sleeping again. You probably fell asleep again. Logan even said, how many times have we said good thing, brought Joe up on this show? I even said I'd love to hate him.
Oh, he
I just asked you to say something nice. That's all I did.
He didn't specify. He said that we've said something nice, meaning Logan and Barry said something nice about me. He never specified
Yeah.
he said part of that saying something nice about me.
Man, I got you. You corrupted him against me now. Jeez, look what's matter with
I
3-on-1 here.
I think I'm on their side. Yeah.
Oh, shut up! I
Honestly,
hate you all. I hate everybody.
Honestly, I've been corrupted for decades, so yeah, that doesn't count.
Yeah, right. But yes, Joe, it's been nice having you on. And one thing is, I think you'll find this interesting is in the next couple of months, probably over the holidays here, we're going to be having a guest on, which you know very well. If he has said it, henceforth it must be true. He is Sir Reginald Royce.
Oh, all right. Reggie's back. He's back.
Yeah. We had him on, what was it, guys, I think about 3 years ago. He came on.
Say 2-3.
About 2-3 years ago, he came on just to BS like yourself, BS wrestling. And then he reached out to us a little while ago going, hey, guys, I'm available. If you want me to come on again, I'll come on and talk with you guys. And we said, yep. So next month or so, we're going to have him back on.
Yeah, man, I love that dude. He's got lots of great stories, man. He was my manager for a while, man. And dude, I love him. I love me some Reginald Royce, man. He was always just with it. He always was wanting to do with it, whatever, man. And he knew his cues, and he played the part well. And so, if I was to get a manager valet, like they would have to be like him, again. And so, like that, he was just always on point. He was always on point.
Yeah. So, anything you need to plug for us, Joe, to our audience? Upcoming wrestling dates, websites, anything like that?
Dude, I got a couple things coming up. I got one of the matches I got coming up here on November 16th. It's me and Mr. Hughes versus Wildfire Tommy Rich and TC Carter, and it's a Legends match. And I'm honored to be part of that, and that's going to be happening here in Georgia. And I just got booked for that. And then you can check out like Nessa Promotions. Check me out, Josef Von Schmidt, Instagram, Facebook. I don't do Twitter much, but not because I don't want to. I just technology is crazy to me. It's just I'm an old school dude, and but you guys can find me there, and I just got a lot of stuff going on. So with that, I appreciate everyone taking their time and sending questions, and like I'm so blown away that people sent some questions in. So I'm thankful for that, and I appreciate you guys for having me on here. And, you guys have been, honestly, a pretty decent part of my career, especially in that Pennsylvania area. And Pennsylvania has always just been like, if I was to say, like, let's go back and rephrase this question of a dream match, like, I don't have a dream match, but if I was to say where I'd want to retire and have my last match, it would be in Pennsylvania.
So again, this is Josef Von Schmidt. You can find him on the Instagram. He's sometimes on Twitter and Facebook. Check out his matches on YouTube. You know, even if you're going back a number of years, you won't be disappointed. You'll be impressed. He always puts on a good show. And not so much now, but like I said, you know, you watch some of his earlier things from the last how many years, you'll love to hate him. That's what I always say. But you're always going to want to see the next match he does. You know, that's the thing. Logan can attest to that when you started looking up some of this. Yeah. So if there's nothing else, gang, Barris, that was a good job. You did some work bringing this guest on. There you go.
I always do work, but you always get mad when I use the company credit card to do the work.
Yeah, it's exactly. Logan, say goodbye to our guest.
It's been a true pleasure to actually meet the Josef Von Schmidt. Thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it, man. In my next career, after I do give up wrestling, I'm gonna drive Gravedigger. So, you know.
There you go. I'll let the grandson know.
Yeah.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to listen to our show, go to ringthebellradio.com and pick your platform that you want to listen to us on. You'll see an array of different platforms you can see. Just click whatever button you want. Send us an email at ringthebellradio@gmail.com. Send your hate mail, attention Barris, to ringthebellradio@gmail.com. Barris loves the hate mail. Yes, Joe, he gets a lot of hate mail.
You hear this.
Yeah, but other than that, for the Josef Von Schmidt there, it's always been a pleasure. For DJ Barris, for the King Logan, I'm JD. We'll catch you later. So long.